begin?
Just take any sandpaper, soft wood, soft balsa wood, crafting wood. Very easy, very light. You just go over, take off any sharp edges. It just helps with painting. And to me, I think it just takes the paint better if you do a little sanding first. Make sure you get both sides of all the edges. Just like that.
Alright, at this point we're going to mix some paint. I was already painting earlier, so that is why we have 2 dry paints in there. I'm going to be making an eggshell gray, or at least attempting to. Just want to give that old wooden sign feel. Definitely need to get some new white paint. Alright, that should be good for now. Alright, since we're going for a very light gray that's almost white, we're not going to do a whole lot of black paint. What I like to do when I'm trying to get light colors, just tap the end of the brush into the paint and then just start mixing. Since black is a really deep color, it will start taking effect almost right away. Typically it will. So we don't mix the paint. Across the paints. Take a little bit more paint. Mix again. And there you can see it's already become gray. And that is actually about the color we're looking for. Make sure it's all good and mixed. Clean the end of the brush off, and we are on to our next bit, the painting.
Okay, I look at the grain of the wood, because with a light color, even though you're painting it, you can see the grain come through. It will show the grain. So pick your grain. Pick which side you want. I think I like this one better. I like the center grain. That will go great with our sign.
One other thing about painting you should remember, when you're painting, it's best to go with the grain. It will get into it easier. Get into the wood better.
Go.
Alright, now we're on to the painting. For this bit, I'm using a bigger brush. Dip it in there. And then, as I said earlier, you want to go with the grain.
This wood, being as balsa, it's very porous and it soaks in very fast.
So whenever you start painting on this wood, you have to move very quickly. And if need be, push down on it a little bit hard, and then it will help move the paint more. And you can see imperfections in the paint where in some areas it's darker than the rest. That's okay. It will help show the age of the wood. You want to make sure you get the center all nice and good, and then you can focus on edging.
The edging we're going to be distressing, so we don't need this perfect all the way to the edge.
Yeah, so you just want to push whatever you can. You don't have to worry too much about it. Just push whatever you can up to the edge. And if we need more on the edge, we'll go back for it. Like over here, there wasn't enough, so just came back with it. And since this is a big brush, I like to put my hand on the part of the bristles that don't have any paint on it, so I have enough power behind it.
Ooh, I like that.
Just a little bit on the edges down here, that's looking a bit bare. And basically one side is done. If we need more color, we'll go back and fix it. Alright, next up we'll be making Hunter Green. Now this is one of my personal favorite colors to make. just because it's just one of those nice natural colors. First, you want to start off with your yellow. We'll need a decent amount of that. Again, running out. Definitely going to get more soon. And I made a mess, but that's okay. Up. All right, just like with the white, you want to add your darker color very slowly. Since we are going for a good deep green, I won't have to just dip my paintbrush. 1 drop of blue to start off. Adding too much blue to yellow will get you a really, I don't know how to describe it, like weird, deep ocean blue. And we're not looking for an ocean blue or green or, I don't know, I get multiple results from doing that. Alright, this is a little light for my taste, so we're going to do 1 more drop, maybe half drop of blue.
Looks like avocado blue or avocado green.
Yeah, that looks a bit like avocado. It's a mix between avocado and lime, I would say. Just a little bit more blue to give it that deep strength behind it.
There you go.
Alright, that's a light forest. We are going for a little bit of a darker forest green. Like, this is like thicker green. So I'm gonna clean off the paintbrush. And we are going to be using black again. Again, you're going to want to go a little bit at a time with this. Probably try and control like a half drop of this. Just very, very little. Come on. Come on up. Come on up. You can do it. One small drop of black should do it.
Glad she did that.
Why is that? You don't trust yourself? There we go.
That's a beautiful green.
That is a nice deep green. Is that as deep as we want it?
Yes.
Alright, that's a deep herb green. Not quite forest. Forest is a bit darker, but this is like an herb green. This is actually what we're going for. Alright, clean off the brush. And we'll move on to painting on the words. Alright, next up we're going to be painting on the words. For this we're doing fresh herbs. Fresh is going on first. It's going to be placed about right here. And we're going to put herbs somewhere down here where we can find a place for it. We're going to be taking our, where'd it go? We're going to be taking our herb green and painting this bit in.
Now you don't want to take too much paint because it can go underneath the stencil. So go really light on the paint, go really light on how you are applying it.
And it doesn't have to be super quick because quick can end up just sloppy. Just take your time, enjoy the process.
She's just taking her time, going slow, and this will be tedious.
Any crafting with stencils is very tedious, depending on what stencil you're using too.
Correct.
And I just realized there's part of a stencil there. and don't worry if the paint is uneven now. You can always take off the stencil. When you're done filling everything in, you can take off the stencil and carefully go over it again to make a good thick layer. Alright, we've finished painting fresh. Let's take this off.
It's just a little masking tape on the bottom.
Just enough to make it stick, not enough to make it permanent. Otherwise, we would be in a very bad pickle.
And it's cheaper than painter's tape. Alright, we got fresh.
And it looks a little rough, but I can go back and paint it to where make it look nice. Now, herbs. Now how are we going to make herbs fit? I guess we didn't really think about this, huh?
I guess we didn't. Okay, so we kind of did this. We changed where the words were going to be. It didn't measure out right. So, what we're going to do is make the green darker.
This time we're really going for the deep forest green.
That is deep forest green.
I've experimented with greens like this before. You really want to add a lot of black if you're going to make variances of the same color. Clean off the brush.
And seeing that our green is now much darker, we can come over here. Okay, that will need to be taped down. Alright, that took my hands too. So she held it in place, flipped it, and I put the tape on it just to hold it right there. With the deeper color, she's gonna go in and do herbs. And seeing its deeper color, it will go over top of the light green a little better. Should show an interesting effect though.
I'm already liking it and it's not even dry.
Ooh, I love that color.
Gives like Black Forest vibes.
And again, she's just gonna go do her paintings. Pretty easy. And we'll come back when she's done with herbs. Wow.
That looks a lot better than I thought it was going to.
I kind of love that.
This is really nice.
You know, one thing, we want things to be perfect. But if you remember, wood was expensive. And back then, they did what they could with what they had. So I love it. We've got a lot more to go. We're going to work on the letters, work on distress the edges, and we're going to gather our supplies. We love to use stain. It's a lot of fun. There's more you could do with stain than straight paint. You can't always take off enough. So all we do is we take paint, water, make a color we like, and it's stain.
This one is our... Have we decided what this is?
I like to call it my dirt stain. It just makes things look old, antique-y. I'm not one for brushes. I will use them. I prefer to touch the wood, feel it. So just a little bit. You don't want much. Wipe it off.
always like to have another one around just to get the excess so I don't get too big of one. Now going with it, I'm just doing it really light to begin with. Always go light because you come back and make it darker. And I forgot, this one is one of our thinnest stains, so it takes a lot to do it. Okay, that one a little too light. It's not going in as deep as you would like it to. That right there just looks marginally dirty, does not look aged. So we're going to take the green that we have, and again, this is a stain. Again, I like just using my hands. You don't want too much. Again, this is like dry brushing, but it's dry ragging, I guess you can call it. Just make it look like it's been touched by the weather.
There you go. That looks
Yeah, that's better. Take your time, have fun. This is not, to me, the crafting is a relaxing project. Take your time, enjoy yourself. Everything in life goes too fast. So take your time. Go all the way around, do it as light, as dark as you want. Make it higher in spots depending on where it drips off the roof onto your sign. Splashing up if it's lower, splashing up from the ground. Just make it you. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I made myself feel old there for a second. I'm antiquing wood.
You're not old.
Yeah, I had just a little bit of too dark on that spot. Just instantly went over it. Grabbed it with the rag, and it looks better. Now remember, this is supposed to be old. This is supposed to be, I've been in the weather for a long time. Just lightly and easily. It's a little bit here and there. Alright, I went back over it some more, here and there, adding a little bit more distress. Now, I want this looking hundreds. Well, at least 100-year-old. People will be going by it, touching it, weather will be hitting it, sun will be hitting it. Now, at this point, I want to go over it. If I can find it here. Again, with just a little bit of sandpaper. Just to distress the lettering a bit. Here and there. Because like I said, it's been out in the sun. Nobody goes buys really old signs and repaints them to look new. You want them just a little bit stressed out. Take another rag, dry, clean rag, wipe it off, see my handiwork. I don't think these are distressed looking enough. Just a little bit here and there. Now, on that the weathering that we did, now we're going to wear it. Wearing it is the rub patterns that it gets from being handled, being moved and touched.
go around. You're not taking off all the paint. You're just distressing the edges, making it look just a little bit more weathered. Wipe that off. That was my arm. Great.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, I had some on my arm and it touched the panel. You know, if you're unsure about how old signs look, there are plenty of places you can go online to look up store signs from the 1800s, and you will get plenty of references on what things turn out to look like as they get older. Sitting out in the sun and the rain and snow weather. Alrighty. Let's again wipe this off and see what we have. I'm just rubbing it good. Get everything I can. So far, not done yet. I got a couple things to do. I'll be right back.
Alright, next step, we're going to be adding different words to the sign. Basically a list of what they would find in the store. Alright, here we're going to write basil, and I'm going to do it in my calmest hand.
See here, you just add those small touches. That's all we're doing, is adding just small touches. Yeah, this be something, you know, small little sign that you'd see outside a little farmhouse. A 100 or so years ago, people would have little signs like these around their farms, on the roads of their farms, to show people you can come here and buy stuff.
Alright, we got basil. Up here, since it's a larger area, we're going to write rosemary.
She's using a thin tip brown marker. When it comes to crafting, every medium can be used. I have used paint and colored pencil. I've used marker and colored pencil.
Homemade stain with paint.
Oh yes.
Every medium can be used. There's almost no limit. What's the craziest combination we've ever had with our crafting mediums?
I used metal graffiti with paint.
That was interesting. Now, over here, we're going to write time. Now, this isn't time T-I-M-E, as in what time is it? This is referring to thyme, the herb. It's spelt differently, too.
And you know, folks, if you make it and it's not what you like, very simple solution. Sand her down as much as possible and make a sign. Just paint it dark color. Just start over. Start dark color on the base, light colors on top, there we go. Fresh herbs, a little rosemary, basil, and thyme.
Sometimes on old signs, they'd include the price. Do we want to include a price on here?
5-cent bushel. No. Let's see, about 100 years ago, 1 cent bushel.
Really? That's how cheap they were back then?
Well, bushel is a handful.
Okay. Just need to...
We're gonna look this up. We'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Couldn't get a pricing. So we're just gonna say 2 cents a bushel.
Trying to remember. I'm not very good with writing out prices, so...
A C.
Well, I know the C. I just can't remember if the number goes before the sign or after.
It all depends on where you're from. I like to put the number before the sign. If it's a cent. If it's $1, you put it in front. That way you know if it's $1 or a cent.
So this side?
Yes, the 2 would go in front of the cent sign.
My marker's getting out.
Now, question. Do we want to write the whole word bushel or the abbreviation?
Do they use abbreviations?
I'm sure they did. And here we go again.
Bushel abbreviation. Do we want to use this?
Go ahead and write it all out then.
Alright.
Hey,
Do you want to put
she's
a
gonna,
bushel or per bushel?
2 cents per bushel. We're gonna go ahead and write this out, and we will be back in a minute. All right, here we go. Fresh herbs, rosemary, thyme, and basil. I got all 2 cents per bushel. Come and get. All right, this is it. I will go ahead and probably put a stick on it. Flip it over. Yeah, we got some really nice glue. We'll put it right there. Put a nice planter stick coming down about a foot underneath that. It's for inside. I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and coat this one. It'd take a lot to be able to put this one outside. Thank you very much for watching.